All right, so what we kind of did on that last video is we left off, if you click a homework assignment in Canvas, you come up with this right here. And then when you click this, you come here and you can sign in. And you may, after this link, you may have to put in your username and password. Then you'll click on the box for your class. And this is what should show up. Something similar to this. You probably won't have these, well, you may have these things on the left. This is what we're going to talk about because this is where you'll be spending most of your time. Now, what we have here is this is a calendar and it's viewing 2 weeks and you might want to view a month. All right. Ignore these dots on the ninth. That's when I created a lot of the assignments. But after the 16th, this dot represents a homework assignment that's due. So this is one way to view when things are due is with the calendar. You've got 4 assignments here. You've got 4 plus 1 on the 29th with one more. So if you like this, you can look at what's due with this method. If you click on this, it will take you to the homework assignment that's due that day. Now, it's important that if you want to go back and do an assignment, that this is June. So if you're in July, okay, see, most things are due in on Sundays. But if you want to go back and do an assignment that was due in June, make sure you toggle back to June in order to see that assignment. All right, so that part is important. And you do lose 10% on problems that you have not completed after the due date. Now, you'll get full credit. If you did half of it, the half that you did is full credit. And then after that, you only get partial credit. Now, another thing, I guess we'll just start top to bottom. This little circle right over here is your grade in the class at that time. So I did not really mention this in the last video, but your grade is not found in Canvas. Okay, I need to repeat that. Your grade is not found in Canvas. Your grade will be found in Pearson. And this is an up-to-date grade as you complete stuff. It automatically will update it right away. Another place to see your grade is over here. You can go to Student Gradebook. I haven't done any of the assignments, so I'm not sure what's going to show up. Oh, okay. All right. So here you'll have your percentage. You'll have your percent homework. I don't have quizzes. We don't really have a lot of time. And then your tests. Okay. And it'll give you a percentage on each of these two, and it'll give you your total percentage. Also, you can look at the assignments that you've completed, the date started, the time it was started, the date worked, the time, and then the time when you left, how long you spent on an assignment. So if you're struggling on an assignment and you contact me and I see, oh, you've spent 3 minutes on an assignment, that may not be long enough to try to figure something out. So I can see how long you spend on your assignments, and so can you. It'll give you your score. What about this review here? Well, the review, mainly, maybe not so much in this class, but in future math classes, if you want to not change your score, you come to Gradebook and you click on this review, and you're allowed to work on any of the problems, and any work you do here will not change your score. So like if you got 100%, you don't want to change that score, but you may want to review it for this class or for another class. Also, if you want to review your test, because you get 2 attempts on every test. If you want to review a test, come to Gradebook, and you can go through the problems and it'll tell you how to, which ones that you have wrong and which ones you have right, and you can go through those. All right, so it's just a way to review your assignments or tests without changing your grade. All righty, so let's go back and we'll go back to our course home. Make sure it views student home. All righty, so now here we've talked about the assignments. Now, the current assignments, I've opened the entire class, tasks, everything, because I know in the summer people have events they want to go to or vacations they need to, so you can always work ahead. It's fine with me. So here, it was created June 9th, but this is due January 9th, excuse me, June 19th. This Pearson orientation, this is the one you need to do by midnight. All right, so you can click on that and it'll take you to the assignment, and we'll look at that here in a minute. Optional practice test with Respondus lockdown. Now, if you want to make sure that your computer will download Respondus, then you can try this one question test. It's very simple and it's optional. It won't count, against you. But you can see if your computer will download Respondus or not. And I kind of go through that in the video for this on week 1 and 2. So you can look at that. If you click on that, it will take you to that assignment. And again, you just click on each of these and it will take you to that assignment. It tells you how many questions, and some of these you think, oh my goodness, 32 questions on this assignment. A lot of times they're pretty easy and they don't take a lot of time. Most of these assignments should be way less than an hour. All right, so, and if you are spending, 2 hours, then contact me so that maybe we can try to speed you up or go through some questions you might have. And then it'll give you your score. Well, let's go ahead and let's click on one. We'll try this one. I clicked on this one earlier. Homework section 2.1 and 2.2. It's due the 29th of June, Sunday by midnight. There are 39 questions. I think I may have looked at 3 of them. You click on it, and here's a list of the assignments. Now, or the questions. You don't have to start with 1. You can start with 21. It doesn't really matter. Let's say we want to start with, I don't know, let's start with 21. Start with 21. And we'll kind of go through how to enter your answers. You guys are not going to like this. This is what people don't like, is that if you don't enter your answer just right, Pearson will count it wrong. Well, so here we have, this is question number 21. It's up here. This is the section. You could find section 2.1, question 67. And I'll talk about ways you can get help if you don't want to watch the video that I made. That's fine. So what you'll do is, here's the question. It has a line. This is where you answer it. You click in the box and these show up. You don't always use these, but in this case you will. They want to know the absolute value, which one is less. Is it this one or is it this one? Absolute values make everything positive. So this is a positive 14. How does it compare to a positive 23? The 23 is larger, so you would click here and see how the larger end points towards the larger number. And then this is a final check. Sometimes you get 3. And in this case, they just give you a final check. You click on that and it's right. Notice the pop-ups. You have to allow pop-ups. So many pop-ups in Pearson. So we go to next question. Notice on 21, it just gave you a green mark. That means you got it right. Let's look at another one. Okay. Adding integers. -4 plus a -6. So you click in the box. These show up. Now you don't always use them all. Now let's explore some of these, even though we don't need any of these for this answer. If you have a fraction, you click on this bottom and it gives you a template to enter your fraction. We'll say like 3/5. All right, we know that's not the right answer. But if your answer requires a fraction, you would click this. If your answer requires a mixed number, you would click this. If your answer needs an exponent, here, I want to show you what happens if you miss it. So we're going to check answer. It says it's incorrect. Okay, and sometimes they'll give you a hint on what to do. First, find the absolute value of each term. And I have to be honest with you, sometimes Pearson doesn't do problems the easiest way. And I may show you some different methods in the video. So if you're struggling with how they're doing it, go to the video or contact me and we'll see what we can work out. You say, okay, it's incorrect. All right, so we're going to delete it, backspace. Let's look at this one. What does this do? This is how you type in an exponent. So let's say we're going to go 3 to squared. So if you do 3 squared, if you need an exponent, and we won't have to do this much in this class, you put the base in, and then you click this, and it creates an exponent, 3 squared. All right. And so there's your answer, 3 squared. Well, it's not really right, but we're going to check it, see what happens. Ah, all right, it's wrong. So again, they give you a little bit of a hint. You can read that. You can say, okay, it's so that part is wrong. So let's try it again. Let's see, should we use, I don't think you'll use that one. Let's just go ahead and do our mixed number. So we'll do 2 1/2. We'll say that those two add up to 2 1/2. Check, final check. So notice this is my third attempt. Pearson usually, except for that first one we did, gives you 3 attempts on a problem. And in this case, it's the third attempt. And so we do our final check and it's wrong. Now, what can we do here? You can do a similar question. If you do a similar question and you get it right, it will count it. You'll get 100%. It will give you total credit. You can do the next question, say, I don't even want to mess with it anymore. I'm just going to miss it. But a similar question, if you decide you want to get 100% on every homework problem, you can do the similar question if you don't want to just miss it and go to the next one. Similar question. It changes it. Okay, see, right now we have it wrong. Question 24 is wrong. I do a similar question, and now if you take a -6 plus a -8, and you're thinking, man, I missed the 3, what can I do? How can Pearson help me answer this? Well, down here we have some options. Get more help, you can contact me through this, and some people do, that's fine. It emails me this question. There's a difference between help me solve this and view an example. If you say help me solve this, it takes you through an example step by step. The only problem is if you use this one, you'll have to start over with a new problem. And that's not that big of a deal because this is just this has only one answer. But as you go into some of your other math classes, some of these have 7 parts. If you're on the 7th part, you've got everything right, but the 7th part, if you do help me solve this, you have to start the entire thing over again. So what a lot of students do is view an example. In view an example, they're going to give you one that's similar and kind of go through it. All right. And then you press continue. And again, Pearson doesn't always use the easiest way to solve a problem. Sometimes it's like, there are easier ways. You may want to look at the video. So they, see, I don't think I would have done it this way. I wouldn't have taken the absolute value. I'd have just said, okay, the signs are the same, you add them together. And they're negative. But so again, this will walk you through it. And just because I think the way I do it is easier doesn't mean that you will. And you may like Pearson, go for it. It's no problem. And so it gives you the answer to this sample. You can follow it, close, and then you can try yours. And we'll just go ahead and put in our -14. -14. The negative, I just use the bar there, the subtraction symbol on your computer screen. And then you check answer. Okay, I got it right. So next question, notice that on 24, I have it right now, whereas before I had it wrong. So again, you can do similar question. I'll give you three more. Try it. If you don't miss them, three more until you get 100% on each of these. All right. And again, I wanted to make sure that you do the view and example and know the difference between those two. And then also you can get help. You can ask my instructor and they'll send me this link on email. You can do the textbook and it'll take you, if you click this, it will take you to the section where you might want to read about it. All right. So again, the textbook is embedded here and you can read. So you can kind of explore some of these ideas if you need to. And we're going to talk about, you could, sometimes they have these videos here that you can see on how to solve it. And some of these are over here, which I'll explain. Okay, now if I were to close this, leave, even though we're not done, I'm back here on this assignment and it says I have these two that are completed. So you can come back to it later and you can start with number one and go through it. So you can't, so it will save it. What I do want to caution you though is do not have two assignments open at once because if you do, a lot of times it won't save it. So you can just be aware of that. Just close one before you open up another assignment. Alrighty, so that was on the home. I'm going to go back to course home. And I have to go back to student view. This video may be a little longer just because this is where we spend so much time. So again, you can get to the homework here. Another place that you can get to the homework is over here. You can click assignments over here on assignments. And again, you have a list of the assignments when they're due. You can click on this. It'll take you just like where we were before. Here, this one, we started this one so I can see my score. I have a 5.13% because it's not done. You just did the one problem. So, and then you could go to the grade book to see what your grade is. Now, if you see here, this exam, 1 and 2, I gave you 150 minutes. I'm not really interested in how fast you can do math. If 150 minutes isn't long enough for you, it's 2.5 hours. Let me know and I can extend that for you. I just needed to put in a time, and you have 2 attempts. Now I'll go ahead and talk about that right now. What happens if it's see, this is due June 29th. Now, if you miss this and you don't take the test by June 29th, what happens? Well, I will go in and I will put a 0 for one of your attempts. And then you still have one more attempt to replace that 0. So you would just click on this and you would take a second attempt and it would replace the 0. So don't panic if you miss a due date. Also, I do not deduct for late exams. I don't advise this, but if you wanted to, you could wait until the last week, do all of your exams that last week, and replace all of your zeros. You won't have a very good midterm grade because you'll have all these zeros, but it will change, drastically if you did all of your tests the last week. But I don't advise that. Part of college is learning time management and getting things done. All righty. I think that I wanted to talk about one more entry, and that dealt with graphing. I want to make sure you know how to graph with Pearson. Let's see. Let's go to graphing linear equations. I was in the homework. Okay, here. Again, 10% deducted if completed after the questions that are completed after the due date. Let's look at problem number 15. Just so I can show you how to graph. It's a little confusing. So you have two options here. I like to click this right here. Click to enlarge the graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph y equals 5x. And some of you are like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Well, you can learn in the videos. But here, you can click here or you can click here to get this done. Let's click here first. And this pops up. So what we've got, we're going to be graphing a line. I'm going to move this down a little bit so we can see our equation, y equals 5x. So it's a line. So you need to tell Pearson what you're going to be graphing. We're not going to be doing parabolas. We're not going to be graphing absolute values or anything like that. We're going to be graphing this line. So we're going to click on the line. Sometimes when we're doing inequalities, which we will, you'll have to do a dash line. So you would click this and then dashed, and it would make your line dashed for inequalities. But we're not there. We're going to do a solid line. And if you make a mistake, you can clear it and you can just start all over again. Okay. Now notice as I'm moving my cursor around, these numbers here are changing depending upon where I'm at. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see. And so this tells you like right now I'm at 1, 1. And then if I go to the right, I'm at 2, 1. And so those numbers there change in that yellow box. So I'm going to go to is plus 0. So I'm going to go to 0 on the y-axis. So the y-intercept is 0. And then I'm going to the slope. Now there's other ways of graphing this, and I do go through these in the videos, but we're just going to use the slope-intercept method right now. I'm going to go from the 0 up 5 and over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. So I should be at the point 1, 5. So I went up 5, slope is rise over run. And then you click. Okay, so it drew the line for me. I'm going to save it. It draws it here, and then I'll check my answer. And excellent. All righty, so that is one way of drawing a line. I wonder if I could, well, okay. And again, just to kind of review, I can click, it won't let me go back because we got it right. Oh, similar question. Awesome. Okay, y equals 3x. Again, so if you click here, you click line because you're going to be drawing a line and it's solid. It defaults to solid. So if you have to have a dash, you'll have to click dash. So you click your line and then, sorry. I want to move this down. Here, I'm just going to start over again. So you click line. Let me get this down. Click line, you go to 0, up 3, and over 1. All right, so that's one way, just kind of a review. Now, and another way is to click over here on this graph, and these show up. So pretty much the same as this one. Here you would have a line. I should talk about the paint. Well, yeah, maybe I'll talk about the paint. The paint, this is what you need for an inequality for shading. But we have a line, okay? Now notice that right here is where the numbers change, where my cursor is. This is 3x, so I'm going to go to 0 because it's plus 0. The slope is 3 over 1, up 3, and over 1. Okay. And then you can just check your answer from there. Because this one you had, the other one you had to press save, but this one it would be done. But let's talk about inequalities. You're going to run across that. If you have an inequality, a less than or a greater than, you're going to have to shade, and that's what this little paint bucket is about. So what you would do is if you want to shade below or above, depending upon what that inequality is, you would click. I don't know if it's going to let me because it's not an inequality. No, it's okay. So you click the bucket and then you come over here and click if you want it above, or you would click over here after you click the paint bucket, you click where you want it shaded. Just kind of a quick answer there. It's going to tell me that it's wrong. So clear, and then you can clear all. If you've made a mistake, just clear it all, clear all, and then you can start all over again. All righty. So again, that was just a quick lesson on graphing. So I'm going to get out of there. I want to leave. I do want to talk about some things that are over here that might help you. Again, we talked about is course home, assignments, list the assignments, your grade book, that's where you'll find your grade. And then midterms, I'll just physically transfer these grades into Canvas, turn them in Canvas, but otherwise this is where you find them. Okay, this is an e-text. So this, you can click here and then you wanted to look at chapter 1. We were in chapter 2 earlier. You can click those and look at the textbook. I don't do study plans. Video and resource library is something you might be interested. Let's see. So if you click that, you can say, okay, I am really struggling in chapter 3. And it's section, well, we'll just do all the sections. Fraction notation, you hate fractions. So you're going to look at some help videos from Pearson for the fractions. All sections, we're going to select all because it'll give you videos, activities, learning activities, PowerPoints, things like that. Just in case you don't like my videos, you can use these. And so I said, find now, down here, prime factorization. Here's an animation. You can click for prime factorization if you're having trouble. Or let's say next semester, or you're in class and you miss a class and you find out, oh, they did chapter 3, section 2. You can go to Pearson and look at chapter 3, section 2 and get some help if you can't find help from your professor. Alrighty, so I just wanted you to be aware that there are other resources other than my videos for help. We're going to go back to course home. And view student home. I want to talk, I'm hoping I haven't missed anything. Uh, I don't think so. Now, here, this is a welcome to my math lab, to my lab. They say my lab math, but we in the math department just go my math lab. It's just easier to say. But this will help you. This is a tutorial on entering your answers. If you have issues with this Pearson orientation, or you're not inserting things correctly, then this might help you as well as far as how to enter answers. And they may even go through how to do the graphing. It's been a while since I've looked at it. So I wanted to make sure you had that as well. Wow. Well, that was kind of a quick little overview of Pearson and how to navigate. If you have any other questions, I encourage you to contact me. So as soon as possible, because we're going to be moving pretty fast in this class. All right. So here I'm going to